If I told you that two Pisces born a few days apart reveal completely different talents, one reorganizes the energy of an environment in silence, the other transforms ideas into tangible results, which of these mirrors speaks to you the most? Today, I'm going to show you how your date in Pisces adjusts the way you feel, connect, and act. In simple language, you leave here with a clear map of your gift and with an applicable tip to use it without wearing yourself out. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, associated with imagination, sensitivity, and subtle perception. Within this sign, there are nuances that color the expression of your potential. Think in layers. Jupiter amplifies faith and vision. Mars triggers courage and movement. Saturn structures discipline. Pluto offers depth and the capacity for transformation. It is the combination of these influences that accentuates different characteristics according to the anniversary period. We don't need jargon. It is enough to understand that there are natural variations in the same constellation of qualities. What format are we going to follow? A count of positions that starts in third place, goes through second, reaches first, and in the end, a special bonus for those born on the border with Aries. In each track, you'll have a micro-story to recognize patterns, a practical orientation to channel your energy, and a touch of lightness to balance intensity with well-being. The idea is that you feel seen and have tools for everyday life. Before we move forward, let's align an intention. You carry a legitimate sensibility. This is not excess, it's calibration. To consolidate this intention and unite the community in the comments, I leave a simple, direct, and easy-to-remember mantra. I honor my gift and walk with faith. Write this sentence now in the comments. By naming the force itself, you activate presence and create an internal landmark. And if you want, add your day and month of birth. This way you can check if the signs of your track speak to your experience. An important reminder, we are talking about trends and potentials, not sentences. The script offers clues, not arrests. Use as a compass for choices and self-care. In the end, we will have a closure that stitches together the ideas and reinforces their autonomy. Now let's start with the range of those most sensitive to the vibration of the environment, for whom the emotional world is a language apart. If this description already ignites something in you, pay attention to the next block. In it, your empathy gains practical contours and protection. Why do Pisceans of close dates express such diverse nuances? The answer lies in the way the symbolic layers modulate the experience. Neptune is the basis, vivid imagination, perception of the invisible, vocation to go through emotional states with delicacy. At certain periods, the expansive influence of Jupiter intensifies faith and hope. In others, Mars offers impulse and decision. Saturn adds constancy and responsibility. Pluto deepens and invites metamorphosis. It's not about hard labels. It's about shades that accentuate each other. When you understand your track, you gain language for what you already feel. This has two immediate benefits. First, more precise self-care, boundaries, routines, environment choices. Second, action strategy aligned to your rhythm, when to speak, when to listen, when to act. It's a fine-tuning. The same sensibility can turn into art, subtle influence, or concrete result, depending on how you direct. To keep everything clear and consistent, we adopted standardizations: Pisces and Pisces, Neptune, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, Pluto. And of course, let's correct a common misconception. The March 7 to 15 window isn't tied to a specific year. The track is important, not the date with a year. With this foundation, we move on to the band that perceives the room before the room perceives itself, those who pick up signals that others ignore. If you recognize yourself in carrying emotions that are not yours, breathe. In addition to recognizing this gift, you will learn to use it without depleting your energy. You enter a tense space and effortlessly the mood changes. Someone who barely knows you decides to vent, and when you realize it, you're welcoming pain that was not even yours. For those born between February 19th and 25, intuition is almost a silent radar. It captures signs before they become facts, notices small variations in tone, gesture, and look that go unnoticed by most. Neptune here expresses itself with purity, fertile imagination, empathy that heals, artistic gifts and spiritual sensitivity that align atmosphere and people. The strength of this track lies in the ability to transform experience into meaning. When life gets tough, you find beauty in the midst of chaos, and you often pave the way for others to find it as well. His presence reorganizes, his gaze calms, his affection sows. This is not fragility, it's a rare type of power. The risk, however, is to absorb what is not yours and lose the contour. Without protection, you get tired, confused, and charge yourself for emotions that were not born in you. So, 3 simple practices change the game. At the end of the day, close your eyes for 3 minutes and visualize the emotions of others returning to their place of origin while mentally affirming, "This doesn't belong to me." Use an extraction notebook, 2 free pages to pour sensations before bed. Book a weekly creative channel. Music, drawing, writing, dancing, with no performance charges, just flow. A touch of lightness helps. Its antennae are thin. It just doesn't need to become an open Wi-Fi point for the entire neighborhood. Boundaries are affection for yourself. By taking care of your contour, your gift flourishes without consuming you. And how does this reading of the world speak to other forms of power in Pisces? Now let's go to a track that doesn't speak loudly, but when it takes a stand, it organizes. It is the Piscean strategist, discreet magnetism, precise words and silence that guides. You observe, connect dots, and choose the right time to act. Those born between February 26 and March 6 usually have a quiet magnetism. It doesn't make a fuss, but the room notices when you decide to speak. There is a rare combination here, fine perception of what moves people and self-control, not to react on impulse. Neptune follows as a sensitive base, and the nuances of Saturn and Pluto appear as focus, depth, and self-control. Think about the scene. The meeting is chaotic. You stay silent, collect data, notice hidden fears and real priorities. When your speech arrives, in a few sentences, you align expectations, define criteria, and invite the group to a decision. It sounds simple, but it is applied emotional engineering. His presence organizes, his word seals, his gaze indicates direction. The strengths of this track include speedy reading of intentions, careful negotiation, the ability to guide processes with gentle firmness. You protect confidentiality, do not expose other people's weaknesses, and create a climate of trust. The risk is the opposite of his mastery, observing so much that he becomes an audience of his own life, holding back words for fear of revealing himself, or using silence as a wall and not as a bridge. To turn talent into results without losing authenticity, adopt a small protocol. Before difficult conversations, write down 3 questions that you want to answer at the end. During the interaction, follow the cycle of active listening, synthesis of what was heard, and clear invitation to the next step. Use pauses of 2 to 3 seconds to allow the message to settle. It is different from being silent to hide. Set an intention per date. What is success here? Clarity, agreement, bound. We are going to leave the sphere of planning for the zone of execution. We have arrived at the track that transforms ideas into deliveries, that rises more strongly at each obstacle, and that builds without fireworks. If you feel that faith points and action confirms, this step will sound familiar. Between March 7 and 15, sensitivity joins an unusual pragmatic sense. Here, intuition is not just a presentiment, it becomes a calendar, a task, and a result. You tend to operate with restrained ambition, less speech, and more delivery. He is the type of person who takes a dream, draws a lean plan, and moves forward in silence until the work speaks for itself. Visualize a scenario. A project has been stuck for months. You gather the essentials, cut out the superfluous, assemble a prototype, and come back with something tangible. The team breathes a sigh of relief because suddenly there is a path. This is its hallmark, converting vision into practice, connecting faith with discipline, bringing consistency to what was only intention. Their strengths include resilience, focus, and a sense of priority. You lead without having to prove status, you set quality standards, and you don't settle for the bare minimum, the necessary care. Excessive self-demand, difficulty in celebrating stages, and tendency to carry everything alone. When the rule becomes impossible, the risk is to paralyze the search for the perfect. Some adjustments make a difference. Work in 10 to 14-day sprints with clear goals and a good enough criterion for each deliverable. When you conclude, schedule a micro-celebration, something small and concrete that signals progress. Use the 80-20 rule to unlock when there is too much detail. Protect focus blocks in the calendar as if they were appointments with someone else. Now that we have organized the doing, it is worth looking at a special group at the end of the sign, where the tenderness of Pisces meets the impulse of Aries. This mix creates bold and sensitive individuals in equal measure and calls for balance between intensity and pause to sustain the rhythm without losing heart. In the interval from March 16 to 20, there is an unusual spice. The Piscean sweetness goes hand in hand with a will to act that does not wait for authorization. It's common for you to wake up touched by an introspective conversation and in the afternoon, sign decisions that unlock paths. This double vibration creates a visionary profile which sees possibilities and puts them on their feet quickly. Imagine a typical day. In the morning, you investigate emotions honestly. In the afternoon, he defines directions, calls responsibilities, and makes it happen. This back and forth, when well conducted, produces agile results and inspires those around you. Their strengths include courage with empathy, accurate timing to move forward, and the ability to lead discreetly without losing sensitivity. The challenge is on the pendulum. Without an axis, intensity can turn into trampling and tenderness, exhaustion. To harmonize, adopt a 2-for-1 protocol. For every 2 decisive actions, take a conscious 10-minute break. Use this interval to breathe, review motivation, and check if the decision honors your values. Include grounding windows in the week, brief walk, contact with water, intentional silence, set slow-down triggers, short phrases that return you to the center, as today, I choose cadence clearly. Set boundaries that are communicated gently and firmly, and remember that saying no protects what you've already said yes to. When this integration happens, you become a reference of boldness with care, someone who moves forward without losing tenderness. The following is a universal kit of useful practices for any Pisces: emotional protection, focus that respects your rhythm, and ways to transform sensitivity into healthy expression. This foundation will support all the tracks and amplify the effect of the guidelines you just met. For each range to yield the best, a basic kit that serves all Pisceans is worthwhile. First, emotional protection without exaggeration. Conversational limits. When someone pours out anguish, welcome and propose a concrete next step instead of absorbing everything. Sleep hygiene. Reduce stimuli in the last hour of the day. Low light and a short discharge writing. Contact with water helps to reorganize the field. Conscious bathing, swimming, or even washing hands with presence. Nature is a discreet stabilizer. 5 to 10 minutes of sky, trees, or firm ground already make a difference. Focus is the second pillar. Instead of many goals, choose one true priority per day and treat it as an unavoidable commitment. Group tasks by theme to reduce context switching. Set up attention blocks with a defined start and end and allow for brief pauses between them. Remember that emotional multitasking is the shortcut to tiredness. Attention is worth more than shared presence. Creative channeling closes the kit. Set aside 30 minutes a week of creative flow with no performance goal. Playing an instrument, doodling, singing, cooking with intention, writing without a filter. It is the healthiest way to transform sensitivity into expression without waiting for validation from outside. If you feel a lot, express a little, often. Lightness is also a tool. When you find that you are picking up too many signals, tell yourself, today I choose clarity and gentle limits. Humor depressurizes without negating emotion. And remember the physical basics. Hydration, simple food, and regular movement support your sensitive system. With this basis, the specific guidelines of each belt take shape. To facilitate self-identification and stimulate dialogue, here are quick scenes that act as mirrors. Maybe you see yourself in more than one situation. Observe which one you repeat the most in your routine and use this to your advantage. Some scenes speak more than any explanation. If one touches you, write it down and share its day and month. From February 19 to 25, you arrive at a social gathering and immediately capture who is anxious, who needs a lap, and who uses humor to hide sadness. Without realizing it, the conversation around you slows down, and people approach you as if you were a safe haven. Later, he discovers that he sensed a piece of news before any message arrived. From February 26 to March 6th, the group debates without leaving the place. You observe, let the emotions of the environment settle, and find the common thread. In 2 or 3 comments, he rearranges priorities, and the plan finally moves forward. Then, someone tells you that you said exactly what was needed, in the right way. From March 7 to 15, the deadline is tight and everyone seems tired. You collect the essentials, prototype a solution, and come up with something viable. There are no fires, there is progress. The team believes again because there is now a practical path. From March 16 to 20, you start the day in reflection, understand a feeling that was scrambled, and in the sequence, make a decision that unlocks an old impasse. At night, she feels that she has combined courage with sensitivity without violating herself. Which scene describes you best? Write in the comments your day and month and the vignette that best suits you. If 2 appear, that's fine. Sometimes one trait predominates and another supports. The important thing is to recognize patterns that repeat themselves and use them consciously. Now, direct questions that help turn perception into action. They work like small reality tests and can guide your next choices. Select one, answer truthfully, and watch as your week changes. For February 19th to 25, what today are you carrying that is not yours? In which conversations do you need to say no without guilt? Which channel of expression can you open this week so that the excess does not overflow into silence? For February 26th, March 6th, are you quiet by strategy or afraid to expose yourself? What is the short, gentle phrase that can build a bridge instead of erecting a wall? What 3 questions do you need to bring to the next important conversation? For March 7th to 15, what's good enough to move forward now without waiting for the perfect? If you were to break down your goal into 2 smaller steps, what would be the first step in 24 hours? How will you mark the micro-celebration when you're done? For March 16th to 20, between your haste and your heart, what realistic pause fits today? What boundary can you communicate respectfully to protect what you have already assumed? What internal signal indicates it's time to slow down? If you prefer a shortcut answer, what simple decision can you make today that honors your gift and saves your energy? Sensitivity doesn't have to come with gray weather. Sometimes a spark of humor makes room for the message to come in. Imagine the Pisces from February 19th to 25th saying, "Today, my emotional Wi-Fi has a password." Translation: empathy, yes. Door open all day, no. The fun is in acknowledging the exaggeration lovingly and calibrating the volume. The strategist, from February 26 to March 6, usually has a rare skill. He speaks 12 words, and chaos is zero. It's that surgical comment that organizes scattered thoughts. If someone asks you to explain your technique, you smile and say, "I only gave names to what everyone was already feeling." Point for precision with sweetness. The executioner from March 7 to 15 has a silent motto: "I will accomplish a goal there, and I will be back." There is no noise, there is delivery. When it appears, half is ready. And if they ask themselves how, you answer, "Less meeting, more prototype." In the bonus from March 16 to 20, the contrast is the charm. You book therapy at 9 and sign a contract at 11. And that's okay. Those who see it from the outside find it curious. Those who know you understand that it is coherence. You take care of the inside to sustain the outside. When you exaggerate in your haste, the anchor phrase is valid. Today, I advance, but with kindness. Humor is not an escape from emotion, it is ventilation. Use images that speak to your routine and lighten the weight without denying the feeling. Now, a little dictionary for clarity. Neptune, sensitive base of Pisces, linked to imagination, subtleness, dreams, and empathy. Jupiter, expansion and faith, broadens horizons and hope. Mars, action and courage, get the idea off the ground. In excess, it becomes impulsiveness. Saturn, structure and discipline, gives limits, constancy and responsibility. Pluto, depth and transformation, invites you to regenerate and go through changes with purpose. Standardizations of this itinerary. We use Pisces and Pisces. We talk about trends and potentials. We avoid superlatives such as sentences. We keep the date windows as a reference. February 19th, 25, February 26th, March 6th, March 7th to 15, and March 16th, 20, without tying to a year. Clear language, few labels, and many practical images. Silence here means conscious pause. Micro-celebration is a simple gesture to counterbalance self-demand, and creative channel is any expression that relieves internal pressure. Why this format? The countdown sparks curiosity, micro-stories speed up recognition, and hints generate action. Each archetype received specific care, protection and expression for those who capture everything, conscious communication for those who guide, sprints and limits for those who execute, cadence for those who mix sweetness and impetus. We kept an empathetic tone with touches of humor to stabilize the intensity, as well as a glossary for everyone to speak the same language. The design of the experiment is designed to take you from hook to practice, with a flow that facilitates retention and application. We reach the end with the feeling of a complete map in our hands. You have seen how sensitivity can heal when well cared for, how discreet magnetism organizes without hurting, how discipline transforms faith into results, and how boldness can go hand in hand with tenderness without trampling the heart. It is an arc that does not compare values, recognizes different languages of the same sign. In Pisces, each track speaks a dialect of the gift. Some touch souls, others align processes, others build paths, and there are those who unite everything and move forward with serene courage. The most important thing to remember is that we do not work with fixed labels. We talk about trends and potentials. You can have crossed strokes, live phases, adjust routes. Use what is useful and discard what does not make sense. Your sensitivity is a tool, not a burden. Your silence can be a bridge, not a wall. Its action gains strength when it respects healthy limits, and courage, when it breathes, becomes constancy. If any part resonated, consolidate it right now with the intention we opened at the beginning. Write in the comments, "I honor my gift and walk with faith." By recording this phrase, you commit to a kinder and more effective way of conducting your days. If you want, add your day and month of birth and the tip you will apply in the next 24 hours. Making it public helps to stay focused and inspires those who read it. 3 simple steps to keep the movement alive after this video. Choose a lane orientation and apply it today. Save this content to revisit when the power fluctuates. Tag someone who is a Pisces or who lives with Pisceans and needs to understand this language in a respectful way. If you want to receive a ready-to-read version with the tracks by date and the practices summarized, comment Fish Guide. Before closing, a brief reminder. Feeling is a talent, perceiving beyond is a resource, acting with purpose is a choice. You don't have to carry the world, just keep what is yours and return the rest with affection. When you do this, your brightness is more stable, your relationships are lighter, and your results become a natural consequence. Reread the phrase in a low voice now. I honor my gift and walk in faith. May this week confirm what you already sensed. There is room for your sensitivity to flourish with strength and serenity. In the comments, I meet you to read your date, your favorite scene, and the step you will take later today.